In the beginning, anime was little more than a dream that only the bravest of Japanese filmmakers dared to dream. Our story takes you back to a simpler time. To a time before the reign of dinosaurs. To a time, perhaps, even before the time of wizards and witchcraft. The year is 1958. In 1958, what is considered to be the first ever anime film was created. The Tale of the White Serpent was adapted from a dynasty folk tale, Madam White Snake, for the screen by Shin Uehara. Yatta! The film was a great success in Europe, and received honors at the Venice Children's Festival in 1959. Yatta! Unfortunately, poor Uehara's film was not received well by American audiences. Yatta. Perhaps it is because Americans simply were not ready for such a Japanese style of animation. Perhaps it was because Global Pictures had removed every trace of the original Japanese production team from the film. Nobody really knows. But what we do know is that today, anime is an international phenomenon, embraced by Japanese and Americans alike.
Anime? What? Oh, like Pokemon? Yeah, I think my little brother watches all that anime stuff, like Japanese kid cartoons, right?
Anime? Yeah, like Dragon Ball Z and the one with the giant robots, right? Didn't that anime film win an Oscar a few years ago? I saw the trailers for its theatrical release.
Anime? Isn't that Japanese porn? With weird things like tentacles and aliens, yeah?
'Twas a long time ago. Longer than it seems in a place perhaps you've seen in your dreams. For the story which you are about to be told began with the cliched anime worlds of old. Now you've probably wondered where anime comes from. If you haven't, I'd say it's time you begun.
Now, who can translate this phrase into English? Sakura, go ahead. No, Sakura. Sakura! Just that... Oh, never mind. Just sit down. I'll have someone else translate. Kato, please translate. Alright, everyone sit down. Collin, would you please translate?
Yes, ma'am. Anime as we know it today consists mostly of giant robots, cute little pocket-sized monsters, and is absolutely swarming with scantily clad magical girls and sexually charged tentacle monsters that attack helpless ample-breasted females. This is absolutely ridiculous. Anime is nothing like this. It is just a Western idea of what anime is. It's animisne, not to mention just a silly phrase they have in a high school textbook.
Now, Collin, don't get so upset over it. We're just doing the best we can, you know that. All we can do is assimilate and adapt to what Westerners think about anime. If we want to continue to survive and be marketable in America, then that's all we can do.
Well, that's ridiculous. Have you ever even seen an anime? It isn't all overly endowed.
Alright, that's lunch. I'll see you all after.
It is absolutely ridiculous. The sorry state of the West idea of anime. Magic girls and giant robots, rapist monsters. If this keeps up, then one day that's what anime will actually become. Through sheer willpower and ignorance alone, our world is being altered more and more every day. I'll show them what anime is, what it really consists of. It's more than ridiculous bouncing bosoms and cute little monsters. Anime is...
Just as good as American primetime television, right?
Ah! Who's there?
Wouldn't you agree, though?
You shouldn't just skulk around like a bandit listening to people's soliloquies like that.
Sorry, I wasn't eavesdropping, but I couldn't help it over here. I'm Momo. I'm new to the school.
Oh. Well, it's okay. I'm Collin. Nice to meet you.
Likewise, Collin.
Now, what's this you're saying about Western primetime television?
Well, anime is just like any other live-action television show or movie that would be produced anywhere else. See, in Japan, you got your action anime, for example, the likes of the Gundam series or Bleach. Likewise, you have the American-produced live-action television shows and feature-length films such as Transformers and Prison Break.
That's a fine point, Momo. I guess the parallels are pretty clear in just about every genre. The anime Hellsing has a lot in common with Buffy the Vampire Slayer and spin-off Angel, and counter-terrorism agent Jack Bauer's job is essentially being done by a handful of little girls and Gunslinger Girl.
Now you're on the right track. Mystery and suspense. America has X-Files. Japan has
Death Note, soap operas. America has Days of Our Lives. Japan has
Marmalade Boy. Science fiction. America has Firefly.
Japan has Outlaw Star. Well, but wait. How come Western masses haven't picked up on this? Seems pretty clear.
Well, anime originally differed from American animation because the creators wrote moral tales, which focused on teaching Confucian values.
So you think that perhaps the answer lies in the original purpose of anime? I guess that if originally the main difference between Japanese and Western animation was that Japanese animation served a more didactic purpose, perhaps it wasn't as well received by Western audiences and labeled weird and different from the get-go. Most people just knew it was different and so never gave it a chance.
Could be, Collin. Could be. You know, producers originally began using animation for films because of the restrictions they encounter when trying to create a live-action film. It was also difficult to attract a Western audience using Japanese actors.
What sort of live-action restrictions?
Well, the live-action film industry in Japan was quite small at the time, and budgeting created problems when it came to filming in other countries, or when trying to cast Western-looking actors. So it was a little tricky to create believable scenes that naturally included Japanese people. So they simply drew their own.
You don't say.
I do! And as a matter of fact, Japanese animators were largely influenced by Disney's film Snow White. Osamu Tezuka, creator of Astro Boy and Kimba the White Lion, actually borrowed and simplified the same animation techniques used in that film to reduce costs.
You sure do know a lot about anime.
I sure do. I read all about it on Wikipedia.
Well, does Wikipedia have an answer to our question as to why Westerners think that anime consists of perverted hentai babes and perverse squid monsters?
Nope. But I suppose that's just because it's indicative of the types of anime that manage to make it into the true mainstream. That is, the anime that isn't picked up only by actual fans, but what the media gets a hold of and points to as a common Japanese product.
I guess if the masses see a giant robot and don't bother to ever watch any more anime, then that's what they'll associate with the Japanese animation, huh?
Yep, that sounds about right. And eventually this world in which we live in will assimilate, gradually changing to fit the most popular stereotypes. You've already started seeing the effects. All the other students in your class, the very school bus that brought you to school this morning. Welcome to the Unlucky Ink Club. We've had the extreme misfortune of being drawn into the world of Watrawa. Maybe you could put in for a transfer to Watro Siege. But for now, that's the way it is, and that's the way it'll all end.
Oh, no, I'm afraid that's where you're wrong.
Ha! What are you gonna do, go and personally fight all the stereotypes?
Yes, that's it. I will kick every stereotype's ass. The fate of this world depends on it. The world won't end with stereotypes, but this world of stereotypes, Momo, the world ends with me. And it all starts with that bus. Ha! Yeah! Boom. Not today! Ha ha! Whisper in the wind! Ha ha! Oh, what are you doing up there? Oh no! Ow! Yeah. Not beaten yet! Rah! Take that and that and that and that and that and that!
Not today, kid!
Rah! Pussy!
Friendship